Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning. Yes, again, the beautiful reminder of choice that you have, that I have, that we all have. And what is that choice about? Well, it's what I share with you. It's about every single morning. It's about choosing your thoughts. It's about choosing what you're going to make things mean, how you're going to think. Remember, you can think what you please. If to think is to form, you can form what you please. And that right there is something amazing for you if you'll just use it. I mean, if you really look at it, it's the truth that will set you free. You can experience in reality what you can imagine in your mind if you'll just be loyal to that unseen reality. And again, where does it all start? It starts in your mind, your magnificent mind, your beautiful mind. And the sooner you connect with that, the sooner you'll see changes happen in your life. I love referencing Neville Goddard about this, how he talks about how all the plots, plans, dramas, and situations of an infinite amount of states are in front of you. Think about that. There are lots of versions of you that are there. And all of the plots, plans, and dramas for those states are lying there dormant, waiting to be activated, waiting to be given birth to. All that's required of you is to lock into that state and to be loyal to it. And then from there, they will all activate. See, the how will show up for you. It's again just a matter of you connecting with the idea and being loyal to it. Now think about that for you when it comes to changing how much you earn, changing your lifestyle, changing any area of your life. See, again, it starts in your mind, in your imagination. Imagination starts the process. It's the starting point of all creation. And that's what we want you to understand for you in your life. Think about it. Everything around you in the world that you're in, all of it was created by imagination. And without imagination was not anything made that was made. See, it's an inside job. And that is pretty freaking great. All right, so what have we been studying? We've been studying this beautiful gem here, The Secret of the Ages. If you don't have a copy of this, make sure you do get a copy of it. And when you get this copy, yes, read it. Yes, study it. Yes, underline it. Yes, highlight it. Yes, even memorize it. But more importantly, beyond all of that, apply it in your life. So you've got to live the information in order for it to have an effect on your life. So live it. Let's all type that in the comments. I must live it. That's where it's at. Not just know it or keep it as something that is intellectual. No, you must live it. So live it and live it as if your life depends on it. You know why? Because it freaking does. All right, so let's go into this, shall we? Let's go into where we left off in this beautiful gem, The Secret of the Ages. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch this over. Now, we read this last paragraph in the last session, but we're going to read it again. Now, remember, this has to do with you changing your results, changing the outcomes, changing the effect. Like causes lead to like effects. Now, here he's talking about the universal mind. He said there's the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the universal mind. Remember this, the universal mind is omnipotent. And since the subconscious mind is part of the universal mind, there is no limit to the things which it can do when it is given the power to act. Given any desire that is in harmony with the universal mind, and you have but to hold that desire in your thought to attract from it the invisible domain, the things you need to satisfy it. Now think about it. You have a loyal servant within you that will help you to get you where you would love to go, that will connect with the universal mind to give you the ideas, to give you what you need to get there. You can look at it this way. The universal mind, which is God, knows better than you how to get what you want. I remember the first time that I heard that, I was going, wow, that's crazy. But then when you start to dive into what we're talking about and you start to study it, you start to see that that is actually really clear. There are so many things that I accomplished that I didn't know how to get there, where the ideas came from what I thought was nowhere. They came from the no thing. They came to me intuitively. Remember, they had to come from somewhere. When the ideas come to you, they don't come from what's referred to as nowhere. They come from somewhere. Where do they come from? They come from the universal mind. It's happened for me. It's happened for Dolly. And I'm certain if you look back in your life when you got these epiphanies, you'll see that they were powerful. Now, for the mind, does its building slowly by the power of thought. Your mind does its building solely from the power of thought or by the power of thought. Its creations take form according to its thought. Its first requisite is a mental image, and your desire held with unswerving purpose will form that mental image. Now, what's he saying? He's saying you've got to come up with new ideas. Why? Because we think from our ideas. He's saying that the ideas for how to accomplish what you would love will come from you being loyal to what you would love. Remember, you're not going to be able to bring into fruition the result you seek if you are not in harmony with that. Things are not brought into existence by thinking of their opposites. Opposites do not attract. It's like attracts like. Now think about the implications here for the areas of your life, for your life with what you're going through. So let's say this again. For mind does its building solely by the power of thought. The kingdom of heaven is the kingdom of thought. You know that statement from the Lord's Prayer? Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, is a reference to the results of your life on earth will happen based from what's happening in your heaven, from what's happening in thought, how you're thinking. So again, its creations take form according to its thought. Its first requisite is a mental image, and your desire held with unswerving purpose will form that mental image. An understanding of this principle explains the power of prayer. Now, most people don't understand what prayer is, and I remember Bob saying this. Prayer is what happens in between prayers. See, prayer is not this conscious thing that people think. Prayer is something that happens while you're walking, while you're talking. It's something that you're connected with emotionally. The results of prayer are not brought about by some special dispensation or providence of God. God is not a finite being to be cajoled or flattered into doing as you desire. Oh, please, God, you can do this. Come on, do this for me. No, it doesn't work that way. God is no respecter of you. God works according to law. If you want God to help you, work with the law. You know, one of the things that you can do, which has helped me tremendously to understand this, is every time I hear the phrase God or read God, I replace it with the law. Raymond Hollowell talked about that in a book that we've studied before called Working with the Law. God is no respecter of you. See, the law is no respecter of you. The purpose of the law is to enforce the law, and the law gets enforced regardless of whether or not you're knowledgeable or ignorant of it. The whole point being is the reminder of, well, you can't cajole it, you can't convince it. You know, it'll operate solely based from what has been received. With that, but when you pray earnestly, you form a mental image of the thing that you desire and you hold it strongly in your thought. So you get emotionally involved with it. You don't look at it as something you want when you're praying. You look at it from how it's complete and it's finished. Then the universal intelligence, which is your intelligence, omnipotent mind, begins to work with and for you. And this is what brings about the manifestation that you desire. Now, I've said this many times in terms of manifestation. Manifestation is thought externalization, more specifically, the thoughts that we're emotionally involved with. And those thoughts that we're emotionally involved with get externalized. We don't manifest what we put on a goal card. We don't manifest what we put on a vision board. We don't even manifest affirmations. What we manifest is how we feel about them. You want to know what ideas you've been emotionally involved with? Just look at your results. They tell the truth of what that is. Your results, whatever they are, they're exactly where they're supposed to be. Nothing more, nothing less. If you want it to be more, you must think more. You must be emotionally involved with more. You must build it in your own mind first. Robert Collier talked about that. We talked about that in the introduction. We're going to be leading up to that in the chapter of Primal Cause. The secret of all power, all success, all riches is in first thinking powerful thoughts, successful thoughts, thoughts of wealth, of supply. We must build it in our own mind first. See, it starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. Now, before we proceed, for those of you who are watching this live stream and would love to tap into the rest of these live calls, then do yourself a favor, decide right here, right now, and go to elevitality.com and register for Master Your Mind. From there, you'll have access to the rest of these calls, the recordings. You'll thank yourself later.